What's up, guys? So over the years we've seen a number of African stars that make it into the global sphere of the music scene and have showcased the best Afro-genre music the continent can offer, with more young artists just waiting to take that opportunity. We've seen artists from all over Africa representing their nation, from Ghanaian giants like Sarkodie and Stonebwoy, or the talented Kofi Omolide and Fally Ipupa holding it down for the nation of Congo. However, Africa's biggest roster of musicians has always been heavily represented by two of Africa's biggest nations, Nigeria and South Africa. Now, South Africa boasts a wide variety of artists who have represented the continent since the 20th century into the 21st century, with the legends like the late Miriam Makeba, the amazing Johnny Clegg and Hugh Masekela, who all dominated the world of jazz amid the apartheid era. Not to forget Ladysmith Black Mambazo, who even went as far as to win 5 goddamn Grammy Awards. And over time, we've seen a large amount of South African artists who have achieved a level of superstardom, with the likes of Black Coffee, who has dominated the house music scene, The Antwoord, who have paved a new wave in the US and Europe, AKA, who has been nominated multiple times at BET Awards, Casper Nyovest, who has in fact picked up a BET Award, and the colourful Shoma Josie, who walked away with the award at the last award show. And special mentions also go out to Shane Eagle, who has gone on to work with Bass, and to Nasty C, who has been nominated for a BET Award, worked with names such as French Montana and A$AP Ferg, and most recently just signed to the legendary Def Jam Records. So it's quite safe to say, SA Music has done a great job at producing a great catalogue of artists who are able to represent the continent at the global level. On the other hand, however, if you move over to the north of Africa, another giant African nation boasts an impressive roster of local artists who have also represented the continent on a global level in the music scene. Yes, I'm indeed talking about the powerful Nigeria and the giants they have produced over the years. And I'm talking about giants like Wizkid, who's dominated the Afro genre, even working with the biggest artists of this generation, Drake, on his classic banger, One Dance. Tiwa Savage, who is arguably the biggest female African artist, has gone on to work with acts like Mary J. Blige, Babyface, Akon, and even Snoop Doggy Dogg. Davido is another Nigerian artist with a banger discography and has picked up multiple awards at BET award shows, even winning the MTV Europe Music Award. And they've also been seen producing some of the best young African talents, especially one of my personal favourite artists to rep the nation, Rema, who has even been co-signed by the legend Akon. But finally, we all have arguably the biggest Nigerian artist at the moment, Burna Boy, who has picked up a BET Award, an MTV Europe Music Award, and even a Grammy nomination, and has gone on to collab with the likes of Jeremiah, Santa and Dave, Georgia Smith, Nicki Minaj, Stormzy, and even Ed Sheeran. So it's quite clear that he's at a superstar level and is one of the leading artists when it comes to representing Africa. Now, let me get this clear. Due to the size and power of both SA and Nigeria, the two nations have always been at a friendly competition to determine which is the better country, whether it be in the ranking of the two economies, the football rivalry, or the battle between musicians between the two nations. Yet, it has always been a friendly battle. So to see two of these rising stars working together back in 2014 was a breath of fresh air. It's reported that the two really started working together after Burna Boy had released his debut studio album, Life, in 2013, which grabbed a lot of attention in SA, especially after people had heard the song Don Gogan, which the music video was even filmed in the mother city, and at this point is when AKA saw the potential of working with the Nigerian artist. In fact, Burna Boy claimed that they didn't even know each other personally. However, one day AKA had contacted Burna's manager and sent a beat to Burna for his upcoming album, Levels, which after only a couple of hours, Burna had sent back to AKA, with which I can presume was the hook for the banger of a song, All Eyes on Me, and he stated that after this moment they had become brothers. The two immediately got to work, releasing the complete version of All Eyes on Me, which was released on the 22nd of October, featuring other acts like Deleuze and JR, and was produced by Tweezy, dropping the music video only a month later. And the song immediately became a hit, especially because of the catchy hook provided by Burna Boy and the beat which was used from the sample from legendary musician Burna's song Giagusaba. And the song was so successful it was being played on all music channels and radio stations, and it was certified platinum. The song even earned itself a remix from Stonebwoy and Red Sun. After releasing his banger of a song, Composure, only 2 days later would he team up with Burna and additional acts Kulichana and Nyanga to release the song Baddest, which AKA used to take shots at his op Caspin Your Vest. And the song did receive mixed feelings, especially with Super Mega's heavy use of autotune for his singing. But the song did go on to win an award for the best hit single and the best collaboration at the Metro FM Awards in 2016. And it was clear that AKA and Burna Boy had some serious chemistry when they both hopped on a song, and thus furthered their bromance, with them being spotted all over the show together and performing alongside each other at multiple events, proving to the different nations in Africa that two artists from completely different backgrounds could work together and create some serious art.
Man, you like moved to South Africa. What's going on, man? What's going on?
Basically, I'm just paying for a house here and stuff. It's not like I moved here.
Yeah.
You can't pay me as much as Nigeria.
Yeah.
You understand? So obviously, yeah, man, I'm just here back and forth because this is like a place I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Bare girl, you see it. Everything I need is out here, so I just kick it. You see it?
Yeah, I mean, but how's it been since obviously you dropped All Eyes on Me and with AKA, and like, just from a South African perspective, how's the reception? I mean, you even have a club gig tonight. You know what I mean? Tomorrow.
It's crazy. It's just been crazy because it's almost like before I could walk around and no one really know me like that in South Africa, but they'll know the song when it comes on. But right now it's just like, Burna Boy, you understand? So it's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
They both went on to work on other songs like Sarkodie's song Special Someone, with Burna and AKA being the only features on the song. The two were also the only features on Deleuze's track Paid, which was released in 2016, and weirdly they both featured on a song called No, which also featured house producer DJ Clock and Timo ODV, which to my opinion may be one of the most weirdest combinations, and I can see why the song barely made it anywhere, but I highly recommend you check out the song and see for yourself. But it was quite evident that these two artists just worked so well together, and the chemistry between them felt so genuine and brotherly, and we had hoped that they would continue to make more music and dominate the African hip-hop scene together. However, as we have all learned in hip-hop, most friendships don't last that long. Over time, the two artists seemed to venture off and take on the music scene on parts of their own. Not much is reported on exactly why the two suddenly stopped hanging out together or making music, but since they split, both of their careers have seen a hectic rise. Of course, Super Mega went on to release more bangers in the SA hip hop scene. And in 2017, he went on to release a collab album with Anati that had a few songs on it that did well, like the track 10 Fingers, which was considered a hit. By 2018, he released his well-praised project, Touch My Blood, which was jam-packed with big features like Altido, Stogie T, Questa, Malum Cool Cat, with many of the songs being produced by the best beatmakers in SA, such as Gemini Major, Tweezy, Maporisa, and Anati, giving us bangers of songs like Star Signs, Jigga, and of course the memorable Fela in Versace. Mega has also had a successful career in terms of his branding, even landing a deal with vodka brand Cruise as an ambassador, and even releasing his own range of watermelon flavoured vodka. And at one point, he also worked with the Hunter Ciders brand featuring on one of their adverts. He also partnered up with the popular sports clothing brand Reebok, even having the opportunity to release his own limited edition pair of Reebok sneakers, named the Sneaker, which reportedly sold out in 10 minutes. So, it's quite clear to say that AKA has an exceptionally outstanding career in terms of his music and brand as an African artist. On the other hand, we have Burna, whose career has skyrocketed in the more recent years, especially in 2018 when he started collaborating with more international acts, like his surprise feature on the American band Fall Out Boy's track Sunshine Riptide, and he later released his album Outside, which featured an impressive list of songs. However, his most successful song, Yeah, is the track I believe garnered him the most attention from the international music scene, earning him the chance to work with artists like YG, Georgia Smith, Jeremiah, Damian Marley, and even one of the biggest artists in the world at the moment, Future.
Go. Let's come this guy out of this place, please. You guys remind me. This guy too, you in green. Why are you here? Hello, you. Why are you here? Because of you. Okay, you're excused. Security, carry this guy come out from my front. You can go to the back though. You can't stay in the front. The front is strictly for my normal die-hard brown boy part. Everyone that's been working with me. Everyone that understands what the fuck I do this for. Everyone that's seen my sorrow, my sweat, my blood, my tears. That I put into this music and every performance. I do this shit for you from the bottom of my heart. I don't come here to play. So if you want to come and do a fashion show, you want to stand and look at me, go to the fucking church. You understand? So my brother, please, I know your face is not encouraging me.
He's also gone on to feature on other artists' music, like his feature on Georgia Smith's track, Be Honest, Santan Davis' banger of a song, Location, a collab with Nicki Minaj on the song Attention, his feature on the track Own It, which consisted of Burna and the two biggest artists in the UK, Ed Sheeran and Stormzy. The star has also gone on to have his own full-length interview on The Breakfast Club show, an appearance on the hit US show The Daily Show, which is funnily enough hosted by fellow South African Trevor Noah, and even went on to perform on the biggest international stages, like his performance at London's O2 Academy in Brixton and the biggest stage of them all, Coachella. So at this point of their careers, I guess it's safe to say they have gone on to achieve what I consider a successful music career, achieving most of their targets and most importantly, securing the bag. However, after a long period of time where the two artists had seemed to not have any kind of contact, they both got into a Twitter battle which proved to many that the two artists in fact had no love for one another.
Time traveling around the world. You know, for those who don't know you, they are definitely bound to know you. Burna Boy's music has been blowing up. BET's Best International Act. Congratulations on that. What do you think?
It was September 2019 when the shameful xenophobic attacks started happening in the Johannesburg CBD, which saw a violent war between South African locals and the foreign nationals from our neighbouring African countries. And this sadly led to the deaths of a reported 12 people and at least 680 people were arrested. Many foreign nationals had their stores looted and destroyed, and these actions even went on to spread as far as to the townships of Alexandra. Now I'm not going to go into depth about this sad part in our history, as all I can say is that this moment scarred many families and lives, and it was another eye-opening moment for many people to show that xenophobia still runs free throughout the nation like a poison, and it raised a massive discussion throughout the country about the xenophobic issue in SA, and painted out our nation as an evil and vile place to come to, with many people from other countries airing out the frustrations they had in the time they had spent while living in South Africa. Over social media, the discussion furthered when the two artists decided to express their views on the issue, but eventually led to the two artists clashing with one another. And it all started when the Nigerian artist YC decided to express his feelings about his dislike towards South African men and the issue of xenophobia in the country, which nobody can deny. This was all facts in my opinion. However, for some reason he decided to target AKA because of a few tweets he had made in the past where Bafana had lost in the AFCON tournament and tried painting AKA as xenophobic. Now this was completely ridiculous, as I myself am a proud fan of Bafana, and anyone who watches the sport know that SA and Nigeria are sporting rivals, so whenever we lose to Nigeria, it's a big deal to us and we get upset by it, but it does not mean we show a lot of hate towards the nation. And of course, AKA came out to defend himself by stating the same thing I had just mentioned before, as in the rivalry between the two nations is a sibling rivalry, and that the tweet he had mentioned showed no hate towards Nigeria. AKA even went as far as to post an image of himself wrapped in a Nigerian flag in front of a wall painted with a Nigerian mural. Now I'm not saying this is 100% proof that AKA has no hate towards Nigeria, but would a man who they accuse of being xenophobic really have a past of showing love to their nation? However, at this point is when Burna Boy entered the picture, and he was not having any of it, and even tweeted his own frustrations he had in the time he spent in South Africa and the xenophobic hate he had received way back in 2017. He further added that he'd never return to the country until the SA government had finally fixed the issue of xenophobia in SA. And he further went on to tweet the iconic tweet throwing insults at AKA and everyone who supported the SA artist. And it was pretty evident that Burna Boy had no love for the artist, even tweeting at AKA in a now deleted tweet, telling AKA to beef up his security in the next show they had, clearly indicating that the Nigerian star wanted all the smoke. And some fans decided that to make the beef calm down, they would kindly ask AKA to apologize for the tweets he had made in the past, to which AKA was pretty adamant on not doing, especially since that was all over tweets relating to just football. Mega went on to downplay the whole situation and instead divert the attention at the real issue of the xenophobic actions happening in the real world, and pleaded the people on Twitter to work together instead of dividing the continent. And SA radio legend DJ Fresh came to AKA's aid, trying to explain AKA's methods and how the rapper intended no hatred towards Nigeria. Even the African giant Wizkid tweeted his disbelief of what he was witnessing and his disappointment towards the African celebs, who were supposed to be a good example instead of bashing each other and reminding everyone that real people were really dying while they were childishly arguing over a social media app. AKA followed that tweet by claiming he was ready to swallow his pride and put an end to the beef with Burna. But during all of this, Burna Boy was actually supposed to be headlining and performing alongside other African acts at the Africans Unite concert, which was meant to be held in SA. However, many believe the organizers had used xenophobia as a marketing ploy instead of actually helping the issue in SA. And many were quite skeptical of the idea of Burna Boy performing in SA, especially after he had just made those tweets not so long ago bashing SA, and many feared for his safety. And with the concert on its way, AKA went on Twitter requesting Burna Boy to apologize for his past words about SA, also stating that it was SA who had helped him in his career and how SA isn't a perfect nation. He also stated that he was being the bigger person because he was older than Burna Boy, and also that he wanted the whole beef to end because he still had hopes for one day staying and performing safely in Lagos. The concert, which was receiving a heavy amount of backlash because of the inclusion of Burna Boy, decided to withdraw Burna Boy from the show because of the increasing threats of violence from the public, and eventually the whole concert, which was booked to occur in Cape Town and Jozi, was completely scrapped, and the organizers were obviously disappointed about the whole situation. Yet, they stated that they were 100% sure of their decision to include Burna Boy, because they felt him being part of the campaign would prove to the continent that every African could be together and change the negative narrative that was occurring in the nation. But the safety of the fans, performers and workers came first, and they decided not to put any of them in harm's way. Even Shoma Jozi came out to express her reason for not accepting to perform at the show because of Burna's inclusion, even though he was already considered a controversial figure in SA. And she went on to state that the real purpose of the concert was to make money instead of fighting the issue of xenophobia. And she also fired shots at the artists who had gone after AKA, thinking that this would somehow put an end to the issue, which obviously proved to be pointless. Eventually, the xenophobic war had slowed down, and eventually the war between the two artists had seemed to have ended, with both artists going back to focusing on their music careers. Burna Boy went on to be nominated for the Best World Music Album at the 62nd Grammy Award. However, he was unsuccessful at winning the award, being beaten by Angelique Kidjo's album Celia. And many thought that a SA rapper would respond in a negative light to Burna's loss. However, AKA instead just stated that he had never hated Burna and that he was just standing up for his nation, and that he was officially done with the whole beef, even adding that Burna is still a champion and winner, which was possibly the best thing AKA could say to his former close mate. And that's where we end the whole story. For now, of course. So, in all honesty, I think both artists were just trying to air out their concerns on the situation. But they did this in the worst way possible, by fighting like teenagers over Twitter. As two of the biggest African personalities with many people looking up to them, you would have thought the first thing they'd do with the power they had was to help unite the continent at a time of crisis. I can see where both artists were trying to come from. On the side of AKA, I can understand why he lashed out. His brand was being tarnished for something he had, and many people didn't even believe he did, yet a narrative was created by others to spite the guy. Of course he was going to retaliate. However, his method of doing so dented his image as a representative of the South African nation, and I won't act like I know what he was supposed to do instead, but I'm 100% sure this was the worst way for him to deal with the situation, and because of that, I really don't think his name sits well on the tongue of the people of Nigeria, and I can't see him performing there until the whole beef is resolved and everything is sorted out between the two. As for Burna Boy, I won't say I understand how he felt, as I've never been faced with xenophobic remarks. However, as a black African, I've definitely dealt with racism, and because of that, I kind of understand how it feels to be attacked just because of who I am. However, his method of dealing with the issue of xenophobia in SA was a complete disaster. Instead of helping his people through the hardships they were facing, he instead decided the first thing he was going to do was to go after AKA and the people of SA. He did show love to some people though, who weren't seen as xenophobic. However, the rest of his argument was made out of hate, and he was out to tarnish the reputation of SA. And this was clear to see through the comments he had in every single one of his posts, with many throwing hateful comments on the people of SA. It does go two ways though, because SA citizens had also thrown insults the other way. But because of these two, this is exactly what we didn't need. Instead of separating the people, they should have been uniting them. Hopefully the two giants end up settling their beef and reuniting. And I sure do miss the bromance they had, just because it showed how two artists from different parts of a continent can come together and just make people happy through the beautiful music they made. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and you guys check out my other videos, and like and subscribe. You know how it is. Peace.